everybody, welcome back. So Thunderbike build and back onto it again. So today we're going to be fitting an LED race light, the kill switch and the race light. I've just got to put the super seal connectors on. The screen is turned up, although I don't have enough bolts to fit it properly, so today I'm just going to get it loosely fitted onto the fairing. And then we got the mount for Olin steering damper, so we can get that fitted. As you can see, I've stripped the bike back already because I just want to make sure I've got access. So we're going to be connecting into the power supply and then the return that goes back to the ignition relay. So that will be our kill switch, which I'm going to run a cable that will go up here. So it will come up underneath the radiator mount and sit here. We'll also be fitting the rain light on the rear of the seat unit and then running that cable all the way down. It will splice its earth into the lead that goes into the battery. I'll just put it into one of these here, and then the power lead will come up and join into the same loom as this one. I'm going to splice this connection so the power becomes two power leads going up. One will supply the race light, the other will supply the ignition. Okay, let's get on with this then. So first things first, I've got to run the race light. It's just on a piece of 3M sticky. Plan is to stick this across the back here. I'll then drill a small hole into the seat unit round about here, and we'll run the cabling will come down inside the seat unit, and then we'll run down. Then we'll run down following the loom connection, so we should roughly be in the same place as on a standard bike. So let's get this hole drilled and get this light fitted in place first. So for now I've just stuck this down with tape going down through the seat unit until I put some proper cable tie. So it just helps me line up where the cabling needs to go. So we'll just push that down now. So that brings the cabling down roughly in line with where I need it to come. So the cabling runs way in excess of what I need, but better to have too much than what I need. What I'm going to do now is I'm just going to pare back the sheath on here so that I can expose back this earth lead a bit further, and then we will tie that earth lead into the battery earth lead, and then the positive will run up the bike. Okay, the earth lead is now spliced into the earth connection to the battery. What I'm going to do is just solder that in, and as you can see, the main power lead for the race light will go all the way up to where our connection is going to be, somewhere around here. So I've left plenty of excess lead on there at the moment as well. Right, let's just solder this connection up. So that's that connection soldered. I'm just going to tape round that and then tape the light into this little bit of the loom here. Okay, so that's the earth done for the race light. I've also just tied it back there. We've just run the power cable up through. What I'm going to do now is I'm just going to make a double connection out of this single one. So I need two leads coming off of here. I then need an extension for here as well, so we'll just get that done. So this is going to splice into two cables, and then the return from the switch for the ignition is just the one. So let me just solder those now. Okay, so they're nicely soldered up. So we've got the double feed now that we need for both the race light and the ignition switch, and then the return for the ignition relay. What I'm just going to do is get a bit of heat shrink and cover those, and then I'm going to get another piece of heat shrink just to tie these cables all together as one now. So bits of heat shrink on there. Now, because I've got two reds for the lighting switch, what I'm just going to do is I'm going to strip one back so I know it's the main power supply, which is the red that comes off of here. And then I'm just going to get these all into a shrink wrapped loom so that it starts to look a bit more professional. So let's just do that now. Okay, that's the loom all run and ready to go. So we've got the ignition cable in, and then the power supply that will go to the race light at the back. The bit with the open part of the loom is the power supply, and then the cable there is the power supply down to the light itself. Okay, so what we now need to do is fit in this switch, which is going to go where the normal ignition switch does. So I'm going to run the cable in. I just don't want to take all the tank and the airbox off, so I'm just going to run the cable in through there for now, and then put the connection, the super seal connection on once I've got the cables all through there. I've got plenty of movement to get it in. I might have been able to get it on with the super seal, but I didn't want to have the hassle of if it didn't go in, it would get stuck. So let's fit this to the bike and then we're good to go. Okay, so the switch is in, and you can see that I've got the super seal connectors all ready to go on this side. So the one's taped together. This is the ignition switch, and the other two are for the race light. So all I'm going to do, stick these together and we're good to go. Okay, so that's the super seal connector in for the switches. So on channels 3 and 4 we've got the ignition switch. On channels 1 and 2 I've got the light switch. What I now need to do is make this loom fit to there. So you can see I've got a bit of excess length, which I'm going to sort of retain a bit, but I need to cut into this loom that we've made up and fit a super seal connector onto there. So let's do that. So that's the female connector on, as you can see, and just connect that up. I think you agree that gives us like a nice fitting that looks near factory. So what I'm going to do is just tie wrap that into that position there so it's out of the way, but nice and tidy that, and it just goes in. And being a waterproof connector means that we don't risk any sort of damage through water ingress. So let me just tie wrap that out of the way. Let's get the steering damper in. First thing we'll need to do is fit the bracket itself, because it's got a bolt that goes down through into there, so it ties into the top yoke. So I'm going to stick that on, and then we'll slide in the steering damper and tighten that in place. There we go, so steering damper's now fitted, and we got a bit more play than we had with, if you remember, the standard sort of Ducati one was hitting hard against the tank the whole time. This will sort of float. one of the things I'll probably do is stick a bit of the soft side of some Velcro tape, just so it's got something less frictious to rub against. But you know, at the end of the day, it's able to rub without being impeded, so it's back to being useful. Okay, last task of the day is to fit our screen. So because I've only got the 3 bolts at the moment, I'm going to fit the front one and the 2 back ones, and then I'll come back and do the last 6 ones when I've got the rest of the fixings in. There you go, 1 screen fitted. As I said, I'll pop in the other bolts when I get them turned up, but nice screen, fits really well. Let's just put this quickly back on the bike. So all back together again. A little bit of I suppose a light video, a lot of work, but not really that exciting. Screen is on, we've got our kill switch and our race light switch. Race light is mounted to the back of the seat unit, and finally the steering damper is in. So good progress. All I'm waiting on now is a power commander to be able to get it on a dyno. I've been told there's a 10-day lead. A little bit disappointing. The place I ordered from said they had it in stock and it would be a 2-day dispatch. 2 days after placing the order, they kindly told me that they didn't have it. So as soon as I get that, I'll get some dyno time booked in, and we'll start this baby up shortly. So I think the next video I'm going to hopefully have the battery arrive. I ordered it today, so I'm going to commission the bike probably in the next video. You'll notice I haven't got the seat foam on here at the moment. It's because I'm a little undecided now. I might cut the seat unit out and run a standard seat, and it's just because the gap that sits between this and the seat unit, I think it might be better to have the proper seat unit in there. This proper seat pad in there with the seat unit, just because it will take stress off of that actual fiberglass. I've also got a standard V piece, but it's fouling just here, so I'm just at the moment just trimming it back gently so that I hopefully can get that to fit in as well, so the bike will sort of all be all sealed up. But yeah, lots of little jobs. Progress is made again. We're almost there. I keep saying that every video, I know, but when you get to the end of these projects, there's always silly little repetitive jobs that just seem to go on forever, but we are genuinely almost there. Okay, thanks for watching. If you like the video, chuck us a like. Any questions or comments, feel free to ask them down below and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. And if you're not a subscriber, we'd really welcome you to the channel. We're almost at the end of this build, but we'll be on to the RS250 and the Panigale soon, so plenty of content to come through the course of this 2019. And plus we'll be taking this to the track and following race season, etc, etc. So okay, thanks for watching, see you later, cheers for now, bye.